guys. Welcome to Let's Get It Sold. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Today we're going to give you 5 tips in 5 minutes on the home buying process. We're going to keep it simple. Tip number 1, buyer's consultation.
Yes. Hire us. Yes, the buyer's consultation is mega important because when we meet with you, we are going to explain the entire buying process.
Yes, and that is really a discovery session where we figure out what are your goals, what is your timeline, what is your budget,
what is your criteria, what is it exactly that you are looking to do in what amount of time. So that is absolutely, you nailed it, the discovery process, and it's really the buyer's consultation.
I would say it's the most important because if you don't express really what you're looking for correctly, you're going to be stressed out because your agent is going to be showing you the things that you are not wanting. So,
and I just want to add quickly that there's many ways that we do buyer's consultation. It can be face-to-face, it can be via Zoom, it can be over a phone call. All right. Tip number 2, the loan process. Woo, this one is highly, highly important because this is when you're literally, if you're not buying cash, we are connecting you to a lender. And of course, there's plenty of lenders to choose from. It's not just who we're directing you to. But why is this important? Because during that time, we need you to be very mindful to protect your credit scores, not to go and make some major big purchases with vehicles, not to change jobs. I mean, this is what, when people do these things during that process, they completely sever their possibilities of buying a home for a period of time. So I would say number 2, the loan process is highly important.
Yeah, and the best because this is a time when your lender tells you what you're qualifying for. So it could be more than you're expecting, it might be a little bit less, but at least now you have an action plan and you have a buyer's pre-approval letter that says, hey, I'm ready, let's go home shopping.
Absolutely.
That leads us to tip number 3, finding a house.
Woohoo! That's the fun part, baby. That's when we have your criteria, which has already pretty much been told to us at that long buyer's consultation. We want to know where you want to buy. We are going to be getting in our car. We're going to be looking at homes. We're going to be obviously requesting those appointments. You know, there's coordination involved. This is all about coordinating and finding the right times to take our families out and their families. And again, remember that we're not just selecting an appointment and showing you the house. We actually need to coordinate these appointments. And that's why we're licensed agents, because we have access to the Supra. We can open up doors, but it takes coordination. So,
well, and I think what important thing to point out is that we have different tools. So if you're a person who is tech savvy, we have apps that you can research on your own. If you know, either way, we're going to set you up on an auto search of your home criteria, but we have the tools to either do it yourself where you can have an app. We can send it to you in many different ways. There's an app called Home Snap where you can even take a picture of the house if you're driving by and it tells you, you know, the status on the home if there is no sign or, you know, it's just there's a lot of different ways that we can find a house for you.
And if you live out of state, we also do virtual appointments where we physically request the appointments. We walk the property virtually, and we basically, this is how a lot of homes got sold during, unfortunately, the COVID time, right? Virtual appointments definitely work. And then, of course, when and if an offer is presented and you go under contract, at that point, you get to see the house. But that would be tip number 4 is presenting an offer. Presenting an offer is very important, obviously, because you want to get the house, we have to present it. But building and creating that offer of the terms that work for you is exactly what goes around building the offer.
Well, and this is where a educated professional really shines. And why do I say that? Because it's not just what you're offering in terms of the value of the home, it's the terms. So what is your inspection period? What is your earnest money deposit that you're going to give? When is the closing date?
Are you asking for seller concessions?
Exactly.
Are you asking for a home warranty?
Yeah, so there's a lot that goes into it that is done behind the scenes that we do for you. A lot of follow-up because we want to make sure that you get the house. And there's a different ways of writing the contract specifically to leverage your position if there are multiple offers or just position you in a winning strategy.
Correct. And then that brings us to number 5.
The closer, the celebration. Woo! This is the best part.
Yes, it is. This is a sweet point. But even with this, though, there's coordination involved because prior to you closing, you have to get what's called a clear to close. If you're using a lender, that's when they tell you, you now have the clear to close, which is basically you have already passed all your loan. They've checked all your money. Everybody has checked everything, and you're good to go. So we do a final walkthrough. We got to go out to the property before we actually close to make sure that the seller has left things in place that were meant to be left, like fans and lighting and things that were the house is getting sold for with, I should say.
Oh, and then you get what's called an Alta statement. So this is a very important document that tells you everything that is due at the closing table.
Correct. But this is really the time to celebrate. Once you sign those documents and all the money has been transferred to that seller, guess what, baby?
You are a homeowner. Congratulations.
Yes,
so absolutely. I hope these 5 tips helped you. Let's get it sold, baby.
Woohoo!